We're now live. Hey, hello and welcome. This is Reiki Rita Roberts. This is a little intimidating, all this technology. As you know, this is my first Facebook Live, Instagram Live. So hopefully this all does what it needs to do and we can get on with our lives. So, for those of you that don't know me, my name's Reiki. Well, my name's Rita Roberts, but I'm known as Reiki Rita. I'm basically an energy expert who's been doing Reiki healing for over 15 years now, and I've learned a thing or two about how Reiki influences our lives, particularly our family lives, and the life we have for ourselves. So I call myself a holistic family wellness coach. I'm an author of the book Parents of Price Tags, Heal Your Life from Family Dysfunction, and Learn to Love Your Children Unconditionally. So I can see a couple of people are there to support me. Thank you. It always feels good that you're not talking to yourself. So my passion over the last few years, as you know, is to help families heal. As you know, we're struggling with so much fear out there, and even more so with this whole COVID pandemic and all that. So if you're a parent, my heart goes out to you, because it's hard enough parenting in normal circumstances. It's even harder with all that's going on. Hi Patty, hi Carol. There's someone called Simply Stitchum, hello, and thank you for being here. So I want to start off letting you know that this is going to be a live weekly series where parents like yourself, grandparents, if you have any influence on children at all, this is where you could put the cards on the table. I want to start off by saying that this series is a difficult subject. I mean, there are a lot of people talking about all the sort of sugary things that go on and will feed you sugar and make you feel good. But having to feed people broccoli and spinach, because it's good for them, it'll make them stronger, that's a tough call. But I feel like I'm wired to do that. I've gone through a lot of disharmony in my own life, and I'm still standing, and I feel strong enough to help you as well. Because ultimately, why does Rita do this? I don't know about you, but I'm tired of all the, listening to the news and hearing gloom, doom, violence, dysfunction. I love love. I'm addicted to love. I need love, just like you do. I want a peaceful world. I just want peace in my life. I don't know if it's an age thing, but seriously, I just want peace, and I'm sure you're here because you do too. All right, so that's what the whole sort of the foundation of this series is going to be. I'm basically going to talk about different subjects that no one wants to talk about, but Rita's willing to talk about, that we need to talk about. Okay? I was thinking about this, with the whole Nova Scotia thing that's going on, and God bless those families and those souls. But I get agitated because we have empathy for people that are victims. Absolutely. So do I. And we build monuments, and we do ceremonies, and we fly our flags at half mast. But at the end of the day, we shouldn't stop there. All right? There was some wounded person with a gun that came obviously from some sort of dysfunction and is allowing this to continue. So the only way we're going to put a stop, to get to the root of it, it's great that we're praising these people and we're sending love to them, but we can't stop there. We have to get to the root of why this is happening in families. Why are people, suppressing their anger to the point of violence? I mean, if you're reading the statistics, abuse, domestic abuse, violence has on an increase, all right? Because we're locked down, unfortunately, with the enemy. And sometimes we're living with these people. Now, I'm not saying that all families are violent and there's domestic abuse, but there are some that are extremely unhappy. And we have relationships with family members that are extremely unhappy. And we're told, through society that we're supposed to put up with this and this is the way it is and just suck it up, And then we've got divorces, we've got so many levels, bullying, so much stuff going on that I can't turn a blind eye to this anymore. If I'm, going to create some small solution to help families find their way back to love, then I will do it. And that's what this is, okay? So it's targeting parents because we are the role models. We are the teachers. We are the foundation of our families. Those children didn't ask to be born, but we brought them. God gave them to us. So it's our responsibility to show up in our best version of ourselves, okay? So I really want to stay on topic because it's not a lot of time. These series will be basically 30 minutes of dialogue and then 15 minutes of Q&A and anybody who wants to ask questions. Let's put it out there, all right? It takes a lot of guts to get to the truth, right? But I'll tell you that there's healing on the other side. So you gotta look at the ugly. It's no different than when we're physically sick. We can pretend that, our arm doesn't hurt or that there isn't a lump in our body that we're ignoring. We have to seek the truth in order to start the healing. So we have to do the same for families, okay? So let's do that. So my passion is to teach emotional healing and self-love to parents that are unhappy, especially struggling with anger, depression, sadness, suicidal thoughts, anxiety, okay? You're even more of a target for this sort of depression and having challenges in your family life. So we need to address it, and we will. So today's topic, you're going to see me referring to my notes. This is live, this is what it is. This is all about being comfortable and just being ourselves, all right? No strings attached. So basically the topic is, how do I fix a stressful family relationship? Well, regardless of what the relationship is, whether it's with your spouse, your children, your extended family that got their nose in your life, we have these problems because there's different personalities in our family, right? And living in the 21st century, there's also a lot of freedom we have that no longer attributes to putting up with a lot of the beliefs and cultures and stuff that a lot of families grew up with in the past. So it's not, it's not working anymore. So we have to talk about this. So I made a couple notes. So how do I fix a stressful family relationship? Does anybody know? Basically, stress, anger, anxiety, depression, this is all fear, okay? So fear is sort of the umbrella. Then there are offshoots, or what I call nasty cousins, that are all basically under fear. So what happens with dysfunctional homes, when they become more fear-based than love-based, then you start to see the family unit falling apart. Relationships not working, and a lot of anger, resentment, bitterness leads to divorce, arguments that could escalate to abuse, unfortunately, and or violence. And this is what we're seeing. Excuse me. Let me grab some water. So basically, to answer that question, the way that you fix relationships and even the relationship with yourself is you got to move out of the fear and go back to the love. Because I remember parents, families, we all start with good intentions. We all love our children incredibly. We adore them. We love them when we're carrying them. We love them. We just love them. We love our grandkids. So what goes wrong? What goes wrong is we start getting inundated with more fear. And what happens is we get stuck there. And when we get stuck in fear, we don't know how to get our way back out. And what happens with a lot of families, they're sort of hanging their hat on the fact that my children have to stay connected to me. It's my mother, it's my father. Yes, now we have the option of divorcing a spouse who isn't, loving or filling us up with that loving feeling. But you couldn't divorce in the past, but that's free now. And we still don't feel like we could divorce our families. So we feel stuck. And a lot of these people, what happens is when there's so much fear in your life and you're holding on to that, it becomes systematic. It becomes the norm that you don't know anything else. And when there's enough fear, you become unconscious and you stay unconscious. Meaning, what I mean by unconscious, you stop paying attention to the small stuff. So when a baby's born, in the beginning, it's so easy to love them because they give us love back. But as they grow and gain their independence, and that's what they're supposed to do, push away from the parent, cut the cord, and become the person God intended them, that we see things in them that cause us to, perhaps not like her or, for instance, I have 3 children. There's things about them I love and things about them that I particularly don't like. Same for every individual on the planet. But the love's still there, all right? And when we become a conscious person, we learn how to love that way, okay? So how do I fix a stressful family relationship, all right? So we talked a bit about why they happen. Because you've moved away from focusing on what you love about that person more to what you don't particularly like, because that's what fear does. Fear makes us skeptical. Fear makes us see the ugly about us. When you're in love with somebody, you don't see the flaws, Hence the saying, love is blind, because we don't see the flaws. It isn't, speaking as a divorced person, it isn't until you move towards divorce that you start seeing all the little things that you never liked. You saw them before, but because you were in love, it didn't matter anymore. So the same thing happens with relationships with our parents, our children, our in-laws. Fear makes us find the flaws, okay? And then when we get stuck there too long, it just grows to a point where we dislike. All right, and we find it very challenging to be with that person. We're going to talk more about energy vampires, which you're going to love, because a lot of times people will say to me, this person's sucking out my energy. What do I do? Okay, and we'll talk about that perhaps next Friday on, what am I calling this? I'm calling this Functional Family Fridays. I have to get used to that. So basically 3 things need to happen in order to fix a relationship. Number 1, you have to admit there's a problem. Number 2, you have to address the problem. And number 3, you have to arrive at a solution to the problem. So and then it's sort of a pre-step. First you have to decide, do you even want to fix the relationship? Do you want to invest in that energy? Okay. Do you really? This is all about going deep into your heart. What are you feeling? What do you really want? Activating that heart muscle and getting out of your head. So, step 1, admitting there's a problem. We have to step out of denial. Pull your head out of the sand and stop fooling yourself that there's no problem. if you are feeling stress on and I'm not saying every relationship's perfect, because there will be days where you have low energy and you don't have a lot of tolerance for your kids or your spouse or your mother-in-law or whoever. But on average, you shouldn't feel that way. You should be happy to see them, happy to hear from them. Happiness and love go hand in hand. So if you're anything but, there's a problem. Okay? So, there's so much offshoots to this. We could talk about if it's your spouse, how you want to, if maybe some of you guys want to tell me what some of the problems are in particular, we could dive down deep into that. But basically, number one, you have to admit there is a problem, that you're not happy, that you don't feel the best version of yourself when you're with this person and around this person, okay? And a lot of times, we'll talk about the solution in a minute. So that's the very first step. And a lot of people get stuck there, okay? And why do they get stuck there? Because they don't have the confidence and the self-worth and the self-esteem to confront this relationship, okay? It takes a lot of courage and a lot of guts to, admit there is a problem. Most people feel shame and they don't want to, they want to pretend. They'd rather put all their energy into pretending everything's fine when it really isn't, okay? So that's not going to help your problem. That's going to make you lose energy, your self-confidence, your self-esteem. That's going to break down yourself, okay? Because you're going to remember, you're 50% of this equation. What the other half does is completely up to them. You can't control them. If you control them, that's fear, that you need to have everything the way that you need it. Otherwise, this ain't going to work. That's not love, that's fear, okay? So all you're responsible for, love, is your 50%. All you could do is exude love, be your best self, and that person's either going to gravitate to it and be that, you'll model that for them, and they'll want to be the best version of themselves, and the relationship will fix, or they won't. They may choose that they don't want to do the work, they don't want to invest in this, and you still can't control this, even if it's your child or somebody close to you. I get how much that hurts. I had my son and I disconnected for a full year. And the only way that healed, okay, and I'll hold that in the part 3 solution to this. Okay, I'll tell you how it healed. So yes, step 1 is address there's a problem. All right. You have to build your self-confidence, self-worth through self-love in order to have the guts to address this in the first place. Otherwise, you'll keep playing the game and you're going to lose more energy, and that's going to put your self-esteem even lower, to the point that that's why you're feeling depression, anger, suicidal thoughts, negative emotions, and God forbid suicidal thoughts, okay? And it causes anxiety. So let's go to step 2. Now that you've admitted there's a problem, I'm not feeling love for this person, or I'm finding it difficult, or I just get irritated and agitated. Step 2 is addressing the problem. So communication. Communication's key. Now, here's a couple of tips. When I'm having a difficult conversation to say to my family, even to my clients, sometimes what I get intuitively is very difficult for me to tell them without hurting their feelings. So that's the thing about us. Loving people never want to hurt somebody's feelings. But I'm here to tell you that if we don't clear this up, all this negativity, anger gets suppressed. Where do you think it goes? It's energy. It has to go somewhere. See, with a child, they'll yell, scream, and whatever, and they'll get it out of them. But what happens with adults is we suppress it because we're told, don't do that. That's not nice. You're not supposed to say that. Not supposed to think that, not supposed to do that. So where does this energy go? It goes down deep within our energy field. And that's what happens when you hear stuff like people going ballistic, shooting people, abusing people, particularly men. Because I had this insight. I've been on the planet 56 years. I haven't heard of one woman, sorry guys, that has picked up a gun and gone ballistic on society. Just saying. So men have a tendency, why is that? Because men have a tendency to suppress. They don't talk about their feelings as often as women do, okay? So men will push, keep pushing it down. And then we have what I call emotional triggers, okay? It could be a smell, a look, a word, something that will set you off, okay? Excuse me, it's not COVID. It'll set you off and then you'll explode. So my goal is, why do we let it get to a point of explosion? Why don't we start talking about dysfunction? When 95% of all families have it, why aren't we talking about it? Here's your spinach, ladies and gentlemen. I am the parent who's going to feed you your broccoli and your spinach. In order to make you strong, we have to start talking about it. No more sugaring over this, all right? I can't stand hearing about innocent people getting killed. This is just wrong, okay? It's just, don't even get me going. So we got to address the problem. And the only way we address it is by having the confidence and the self-worth, the believing you deserve better. When you feel, and that's usually when people get divorced, when you feel you deserve better than that, and then you will confront, okay? So we have to build up those emotional muscles that allow us to do this. It takes courage to confront, So what I do is I usually I'll pray on it, and I'll ask my angels to help me with the words, to say the things that I need to say with love. All right, what happens to most people, they'll confront and address a problem, but they'll do it in a fear-based way. So they'll just go ballistic on the person. Well, you should do this, and you do that, and I can't stand it, and you. Okay, this is accusatory, and our first defense is don't blame me, and then that person attacks you, and it's because they're defending themselves, and nothing happens other than a power struggle, okay? We're both fighting for energy, okay? You're wrong. No, if you're going to fix something, you have to come from a place of love. I feel that, this relationship has become very stressful for me. So you have to learn how to consciously talk and choose your words. And don't worry, because I teach all that in my parenting programs. You have to learn love. But when you're wounded and you're hurting and you're stressed out and you're fed up, trust me, you're not going to be communicating love. You got to do some healing first, okay? So let's move to step 3, because the time ticks away quickly. Arriving at a solution to the problem, okay? So some things in some relationships, and I'm going to put this right on the table, you'll never fix. You'll never change some people's way of thinking. They're always going to be, if they're stuck in fear, and they're happily stuck in fear, and you say to me, oh, Rita, why do some people want to be happily stuck in fear? Because they get energy that way. People feel sorry for them or whatever it is, and they support them, and they feed them energy. So why would they change? Some people are set in their ways because they believe they're too old to change. Whatever the reason, people get set in their ways. Or they don't see value in this. Remember, we only are motivated to do stuff when we see value in it. Okay? What's in it for me? So what's in it for you is that you love this person, you're concerned about this person, and you want to fix the stress. The stress, again, is fear. So number one, like I said, arriving at a solution, accept the fact that even if you try and you're going to turn blue in the face trying to fix this, that some relationships you'll never fix. And you have to accept that truth, okay? And that's just the way it is. Now, the next thing is that you arrive at a solution by learning how you want to communicate. The best thing I always say when you have to confront a stressful, especially family member, write some points down before you have to talk to them and prepare yourself. So number one, don't address the problem when you're already mad or upset. That's not the time to address it because you won't fix the problem. You will escalate the problem. So good timing. Find the right timing. Person's in a good mood, they're calm, they're in a better place, then this is a time to address. So number one, choose the right time to approach, okay? Like, don't wait till you're driving on a highway stuck in traffic, because this is already causing stress. So now you're going to come with all your problems and escalate the stress. So you see what I'm saying? Make sure that this person is calm, it's at a good time, and that you can openly discuss. Don't do it in front of other family members, for the love of God, okay? This is something you have to respect this other person. Even if you're angry with them or pissed off right now, you need to respect. This is love, okay? So respect the person, respect yourself, and speak to them in a private setting when they're in a good mood and you're in a good mood, okay? The other thing I want to say is write the points down that you have issues with. So when you write, because what happens is, because you're nervous addressing this and adrenaline's going, in my case, my voice chokes up, I write the points down to make sure that you cover what you really want to say. You don't say, oh crap, I really wanted to say this and I forgot and I should have. So write the points down. Tell this person, I have 2 things I want to discuss with you, or maybe keep it simple, depending on the temperament of the person. Just maybe discuss one thing at a time, especially if it's a big topic, like I want a divorce, if it's just approach them with one topic. Be seated, be relaxed, because they're going to feed off your energy. So if you're relaxed, you're speaking your truth and telling them, keeping it about I feel, I'm not happy. This is why. Don't put any blame into it. Because when you start blaming, people get defensive. All right? So no blame. No blame. This is about you coming to some solution. Excuse me. My voice goes crazy. So are you guys getting some value out of this so far? Send me a thumbs up, or am I helping you with your problems? Let me know if there's something in particular before we get to an end of this this live series. So again, wait for the right mood, respect the person, respect yourself, write points down, and then say what you need to say and stop and let them answer back. So make sure your conversation is like a tennis match. You speak, let them speak. And when they're speaking, don't talk. Respect them, just listen. Listen to what they're saying, because people will always tell you their truth. What happens to most people when you're in fear or ego, you're rehearsing your own lines. You're getting ready to say, you're not hearing a damn word they're saying. You're just rehearsing your own lines and going, this is what I'm going to say to this person. Okay? So listen to what they have to say what you need to say, and then after the dialogue's over, then you walk away. Okay? So you've you're communicating. And then take time to meditate on what was said. Just don't react right away. Say, you know what, I need time to think about this, to meditate on it, and just to come back to you later. So you're arriving at that solution. And once you hear it, once you hear what you have to say, if the person's willing to change and didn't realize they were hurting you, then there's hope there, okay? But if the person continues to keep hurting you and not want to change and laying blame that this is all your fault, then you have to go back and rethink the relationship, okay? You have to think about whether you want to continue to be in a one-sided relationship or not, okay? Because when we make people accountable and we make ourselves accountable, then change can happen. But if you just go, okay, you don't want to change, oh well, I guess I have to live with it. No, you have to have the self-respect and self-love to say you deserve better than that, okay? So I want to leave you with this quick little story with my son. After my divorce, there was a lot of anger and stress and a lot of stuff. If you've never been divorced, it's not a happy thing. And long story short, it caused a rift between me and my son. And I had to go through these steps because it was extremely stressful relationship. And it wasn't good for him and it wasn't good for me. But, you know, as his mother, I loved him, but it was so hurtful for the both of us. But it took my own building of myself and healing of myself before I could fix the relationship. And once I did, I confronted him, we talked about it, we made some decisions about how it was going to go, and I found the courage to stand up for myself. And I felt like someone lifted 100 pounds off me. To date, the great news is, like at that point then he left and we separated. That needed to happen because I needed to heal and he needed to heal. But I didn't stop loving him. That's the difference. Kept sending love to him, whether it was a text message or a Christmas card with no expectations back. Okay? Because unconditional love is about just giving with no conditions. And then slowly, you may regain that relationship back or not. But whichever way, you'll be at peace with it. Okay? So I hope that helps. This is again our first series, our first episode. This will be weekly. Does anybody have any questions? Does anybody want to say something before I sign off or tell you a little bit more about how you can get some help? Okay. All right. So no worries. I know it's again a tough subject to talk about, but you know what? The truth will set you free. The truth will bring you to a place of peace. And without admitting there's a problem, you can't fix it. Okay? So the solution again is to build your self-confidence, to find and to reestablish self-love, to love yourself enough to know that you deserve better. Okay? And that's how you'll start to create peaceful relationships. You'll start attracting people that are at your same vibrant frequency in a place of love. And you won't have a lot of these combative relationships anymore. Because people, will feel your energy and they'll want to be around you because they're at the same caliber. And that's a beauty as well, that your energy field will change. You'll become more happy, more loving. And people that want to be angry and miserable don't want to be around happy people. So they'll slowly drift away. The universe will take care of it for you. So you won't even have to worry about it. Okay? So I hope you found that useful. And I look forward to seeing you next Friday at 11:11, which is a spiritual time and vibration where it evokes love. That's why I chose it. Send me your questions, anything I could help you with. Please reach out. And if you haven't done already, follow me on Instagram, so you can get these videos, okay? Or on Facebook, I have a group called Stressful Family Relationships. Join it, because that's where you get all this info, okay? So from my heart to yours, be strong, stay hopeful. You know, things are fixable. Everything's fixable one way or another. So stay hopeful in this relationship and know, just, really listen to your gut and your heart. What does your heart tell you? If it's fixable, then do the steps. If it's time to move on, then you have to admit that as well. All right? So from my heart to yours, God bless you. Stay well. Stay safe through COVID-19, and this too will pass. God bless you, and I'll see you next Friday at 11:11. Bye now.